What's wrong, Rick?
I'm glad I wasn't recording either. Shit.
You fucking shit up already?
No. Something weird happened. Alright. Where y'all want to start with today?
What are we doing?
I'm
We
an
doing
A
feet
through
fetish?
Z list of fetishes.
We
I'm
had
prepared to
the
go
fetishes.
A through Z with all fetishes.
The top 5 black wrestlers.
Oh, I forgot my book for that.
Since we've been here, we've had the VP debate, Supreme Court, Tory Lanez, Ice Cube, and Cardi B and Offset.
What happened with Cardi B Offset again?
They back together.
Oh, now they back together?
And her posting a new photo.
You know,
I mean,
just leave the way.
were they ever broke? Like, they broke up for like a week. I'm not about to keep reporting on these niggas breaking up for a fucking week. Every other fucking week they break up.
Where am I called? I might use my hand like a dummy.
I forgot my
The
list.
thing is, she wasn't the one that put it out there that they were breaking up in the first fucking place.
Alright, we'll just talk about this in the show. That's a good point. That's a waste of social media. If every week you want to break up, get back together.
Again, she wasn't the one that put it out there in the first fucking place. Can't help when you're motherfucking famous and motherfuckers be all in your goddamn business, and if you file something with the court, the media is gonna find out, and they can't wait to jump on and get a hold of that and be the first people to put the news out there.
That's what you're supposed to do.
But the point is, are we started already? Are we like officially rolling? Because I ain't recording all this.
Go ahead.
Doing good.
What happened was the information just got leaked. You can't help when something like that happens. Yes, I know celebs will leak their own information. I get it, but people were telling her, well, why you even put it out there in the first place? I mean, first of all, she just said, you know, I'm stupid. Like, why else would I be back with this man? It was pretty much what she said, but the fact that it got out there, I mean, what can you do?
I don't understand why people ask her that. Like regular people, like regular motherfuckers do the same shit.
All
Well,
the time
yeah.
in worse situations.
And with less money than Offset.
Exactly. Way less.
They living on 30th down in the fucking projects and they doing the same shit. And they sit up here talking, oh, I can't believe, yeah, she's stupid. Just like y'all stupid. Oh, we going back to these fucked up old situations and shit.
I mean, I saw they was back together and I was like,
We don't even know. Maybe they got counseling. Maybe they're healing.
They
I
not.
don't know.
They just have a toxic relationship. It's just a classic toxic hood ass relationship. They just two people from the fucking hood. That's it.
They love
Two
each
people
other.
from the fucking hood that just have a toxic ass relationship. That's the shit that happens. You gotta understand, like they both came from the same type of background. They were both corny ass, no, like not popular. What?
you just call them both corny. Like, why
They was corny. If you look back at Cardi B's pictures from when she was growing up, she wasn't like hot or she wasn't like the pot. Like she was a chick that was barely speak good English and shit like that. Like she wasn't no popping ass female. And if you go back and look at Offset, it's a video of Offset and one of them other dudes from the Migos. Dude was pop locking and shit. Like he was like a little corny skateboard type dude.
I mean, I was just curious as to my aesthetic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about the nigga, but it ain't like, you know what I'm saying, he was 16 years old, pushing bricks and coming out the van, though. It wasn't that. He was pop locking and doing little corny kids. You know what I'm saying? He was that.
Well,
and when you get money, you change your persona.
Dude.
It's the same thing like when you look at a picture of Drake when he was like 15 or 16 and like how like he looks like extra corny, like he would get picked on. And now he has his persona where, you know what I'm saying, like it's people falling and doing all type of shit for, oh, you need me to do this for you, Drake? Oh, somebody said something, Drake, you need me to handle that for you, homeboy? You got the beard popping off and all the extra shit. Like, you get money and you just change your image. That's just what happens. So, you know.
Drake is still the corny. Like, at least he admits his corniness, though.
He does admit his corniness, but you know what? We all have to understand, like, once you get that money, you're cool. Like, you can be the corniest, you know what I'm saying, get picked on kid in school, but once you get $2 or $3 million and you get a nice $100,000 car, guess what? You gonna have the prettiest female in the city sitting right next to you, and y'all will be in Cancun, not Cancun, because I'm pretty sure everybody go there, but someplace where it costs like, nice. Someplace like Abu Dhabi or some crazy shit, and they gonna be like, man, this dude is cool. He's not cool. My one homeboy, he a nerd. He grew up a nerd. He's the smartest. I got a homeboy. He's the smartest dude I know. He has more money than anybody else. And this ain't me counting pockets, but he has a regular job. He does real estate. He's cheap as fuck. Like, he could afford a nice ass car. His car is shit. He is an old Honda, is rusted. The color is like, it's rust, actual rust. It's a piece of shit. But it runs, and he still drives it. He does not purchase a new car. But if we go to his page, I promise you, he's somewhere exotic. And he's having the best time of his life. And he was a corny dude. And now you look at him, and there's pretty females all around him, and they dancing and having a good time. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't know that he was just like a cornier type dude. But, and I'm not saying corny as in, we look at corny as being like bad. Like, corny as in, you wasn't the star of the football team. You wasn't.
I was gonna say define corny.
Yeah, corny is that. Corny is you wasn't the person that all the females was like, I'm fucking him. He wasn't that. He wasn't the captain of the football team. He wasn't the dude that had all the J's or the dude with all the money or any of that type of shit. He was just the dude that, hey, what's up, guys? And, you know what I'm saying, get pushed into the locker or some shit like that. Like, that's what I mean when I say corny. Not corny as in...
Yeah, but I feel like the corny people are kind of, like, winning right now.
They do.
Yeah, you're nerds. You're people into, like, cosplay and comic books and shit like that. Y'all I feel like y'all was kind of on top versus back when we was in school.
Listen, nobody stays on top forever. 50 Cent said... You know what I'm saying? Damn, homie, in high school you was the man, homie. What the fuck happened to you? That's real life. Look at everybody that was popping in high school. How many dudes do you really remember that was in high school that was up here on top that all the females wanted to fuck with that's still up here? Them dudes, that ain't them. The niggas that we talked about, laughed at, and made fun of, and that was getting the 5.0 GPAs and shit, and was real skinny and non-athletic and shit. Them motherfuckers own businesses that we're applying for now. We sit up here like, shit, they pay $30 an hour? Hey, what's going on, pal? You remember that time we had this paperball fighting? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, corny dudes eventually do win when you get older. But when you're younger, it don't happen like that. Like, people ain't 15 or 16 years old. Like, you know who I really want? A skinny dude with a they can't hardly see and getting a 5.0 and in the books and in comic books and shit like that, right? Females wasn't into that shit for real. Not where I'm from anyway. I wasn't into that shit and I wasn't popping.
The majority of females was into that.
Probably was some.
Yeah, it was definitely some.
I mean...
Shit, some of the females were those type. What you talking about anyway?
But them females ain't the females everybody wanted though. Them ain't the females that everybody was like, man, I'm really trying to get her. Like the top 10 females that every dude was trying to get in high school and college. She wasn't into that shit. She was not into that shit.
I was into that stuff.
Was you?
I had a whole goth period too. Like
was you one of the?
I think I did alright.
Well, did you do alright, or was niggas like really at your neck?
Though, like I had that, and then like I still did cheerleading and track, so like I was still on sports and stuff. Like,
but was they at your neck?
I ignored people then too, so I went.
If they wasn't at your neck, then you were just a regular.
You got her own like fan.
You was just a regular. If they wasn't at your neck, it was just regular.
No, Ricky got her own fan club. Like
I would look now.
Probably then too.
Nigga,
you gotta start somewhere.
Nigga, I'm the first person to tell people. I see it on my page. I'm like, man, I'm like fucking Facebook Trey Songz. When Trey Songz came out with the braids, y'all didn't give a fuck about Trey. When it was summer in Miami with Jim J, he wasn't y'all wasn't at Trey Songz' neck. I remember buying his CD and females would be like, who the fuck is this? I'm like, it's Trey Songz. We gotta make it. We just gotta make it, Trey.
He got a little older too. That's the thing. Sometimes when they start off, I'm still, regardless of how far in between, he still got a little bit older. Because you even said that about Drake. Like Drake, you know, he grew up into some. He looked better than when he was.
You just change your persona once you get money.
You do.
But it's not even. That's true. But what I'm saying, it's not even just the persona. You looking at Drake, for example, somebody starting off at like 15 and then 10 years later. Well, that's a nice little bit of growing up in those 10 years, so of course he's going to look different. Shit, he wasn't even He couldn't even have a beard. What's that?
He could. If y'all look at Drake, he had the shadow. He cut it off.
He kept cutting. Yeah, he did. Kept cutting it
full
off.
beard like what he got now.
Man, that nigga
But he
cut
got
his
money
shit
now
off.
to make it all connect and like.
He wanted to look younger. So that was the thing. People want you to look younger in music. Beards wasn't all like beards now. Like people, oh, I love a man with a beard. I was thinking to myself like, shit. Go back to fucking 2000, 2005. Who the fuck had a beard that y'all was running around talking about they was hot?
You got older. That's what I'm saying. You grow up and you get older. So now with y'all having beards, you look older. It's like the equivalent of gray hair. It's supposed to be like more wisdom or some bullshit. But
Yeah,
it's part of being older.
Females say they like gray hairs. Now I don't remember no females talking about they like gray hairs
It's
before.
like I just talk and
But I'm saying though, these are 20-year-old females saying this shit. What 20-year-old female was talking about they love gray hairs?
oh, I don't know.
I don't talk to
What 20-year-old females
females.
running around like I love a nigga with a beard a long time ago? I don't remember it.
I don't know what 20-year-old females are
Yeah,
saying.
I wouldn't have a clue.
They are on all of this. Like we thinking it's just us. I'm telling y'all, this is 2025. 29-year-old females saying the same shit as 35-year-old females.
Maybe that's the age range.
Right.
I don't know.
You would
I'm
look
at an older age range right now.
I mean, just period. Just when you look at everything, because even in music, nigga, we don't control music. 30-year-olds, we not controlling shit. When you talking about people like Gucci Mane is still making music for motherfuckers in their 20s. Cause that trap shit, niggas that's 35 years old ain't sitting up here talking about, hell yeah, man, I'm about to sit hit this trap, get it booming, get it popping, stay
No, it's
lit.
actually the opposite. Like, we at this age, we listen to it, fantasizing about possibly killing, but then we wake up and go to our real jobs. Like, it's a quick thing. Like, I'm telling you.
We're not the demographic.
We listen to it to get pumped up
No,
while
we're
we
not. I said
while
the
we
same
work out
thing.
and stuff.
I said the same thing about Power. Like Power had that switch, and now it's about Tariq, him being in college. It's not really about anybody over like 35 anymore. Well, that's why they tossed in like Method Man and
Mary J. Blige.
Yeah,
Are they gonna do a song?
I feel it's coming eventually.
I'm telling like, man, they should just have it like.
It's got to be on the soundtrack.
Like they got
album.
It's got to be like a episode where they got like a school talent show and shit, and then
come on.
Method Man and Mary J.
I
Blige
ain't
come
never
on
seen
there.
that happening.
He come on there with the eye.
No,
God damn it!
No.
Don't kill my dream, Ricky.
No.
I got to see it.
no.
I gotta see it one
They
time.
aren't really those people anymore. You don't really see Meth like Meth keep his hair cut. He working out, being healthy and shit now. He ain't walking around with the eye and the hair.
Man, he can still get it off though.
I believe that.
With
but
the suit
he's
on, oh,
changed
that'd be
his
so
image
dope.
up, though.
That'd be so dope to see him in a suit and doing that shit. Just do one song for us, man. One time.
I definitely posted that picture of him in them boxers on that one episode. Was that like 2 episodes ago? I don't know.
What? Oh, when he was fucking the girl and he was just standing there.
Yeah.
I still don't watch Power.
You still don't watch Power?
Nope.
People saying like they don't like it now, but I'm like, it's a good. I still like it. It's still a good show. It's still good writing
It's
on
like
there.
a prequel. It's to read. It seems like it's a lot of the things similar that Ghost would have went through back when he was in school and shit.
Yeah, it's the same shit.
Yeah, that's it.
He got a hood chick and he got a bougie chick. Same as his daddy.
He got the white friend.
The white friend. He got the Tommy Egan.
Yeah. It's like literally the same thing except it's revolved around him being in school.
I'll be waiting for Bobby Brown to do some new shit. That's what I'll be waiting on. I'll be like, man, Bobby Brown will do some new shit. Watch. He gonna do some new shit. What is his name on the show?
Kane.
Kane.
He's gotta end up being
Kanan's son.
Yeah, that's gotta happen. And he act like him too. Like that's coming. Cause the one dude that's in jail, that can't be his daddy. And I think they said that already.
Yeah, I think they did say it. That's why he didn't. He wanted the gay dude to be the leader and shit.
Yeah.
The gay son.
Yeah, probably. I don't think he knows his son gay though. Oh, spoiler alert on all this for anyone that has not watched.
I mean, it's like 5 episodes in. They ain't watched it too fucking bad.
No, cause that happened to me last year. Like people were spoiling it every Sunday though. Like when the episode ends, people just hop on and just like, come on.
Yeah,
man,
I mean that's
give me
different
a minute.
though. That's different though. Like if you if you literally started watching the motherfucker at 1 a.m. in the morning, you knew it was already gonna happen because everybody got on there like, I can't believe.
Yeah, y'all killed last season. I had to wait until last season ended, and I waited a few months so I could forget some of the stuff everybody won. And then I watched, and I remember everybody complaining about Power like the last 2 seasons. All of a sudden, it's like now because it's Tariq and the show has changed. Everybody's saying like Power was the greatest fucking thing ever. What the fuck? See, I think people like say stuff and fucking just forget. No, I remember people complaining heavily about the last 2 seasons of Power, and now
You gotta understand, niggas complain about everything.
It doesn't matter.
It don't matter what the fuck. Like, we can do this into a segue. Like, for years, all we talked about is we need change. We need change. Well, guess what? Ice Cube decided to go in and have a conversation with Donald Trump's cabinet about some shit that he want done. Juneteenth, a holiday, and some other shit that he wanted to get accomplished. And guess what? You niggas is mad that he talked. Like, how are we going to get things accomplished? Somebody has to talk to them. Do y'all think that like, Black Panther is not real? There's not a black leader that's going to come out and emerge and all of a sudden go say, I stamped this day as Juneteenth and we don't need the president and we don't need the... Are you taking pictures?
No, I'm live on Facebook right now.
Get my good side.
We get to this subject.
So the thing is, Ice Cube went in there and he had a conversation and he put it out there. He was like, I told the same thing to the Republicans as the Democrats. And guess what happened? You niggas is upset. Why? Like, how do you expect these things to get accomplished? That's how it works. That's why I don't like when the elections come around, because a bunch of niggas that never even graduated high school get on there and all of a sudden everybody's politicians. Everybody knows politics. Y'all can't name the 3 branches of government, but all of a sudden you telling everybody, well, I'm gonna tell you why this ain't it, and Trump this, and Biden that, and this, that, and the third. And I'll be like, y'all niggas can't even read. How are you qualified to get on here and argue with other people? And what pissed me off is this. A lot of times, people will get on there and they'll say something that I agree with, and then once they start talking and getting into it with somebody else that's more educated than them, that I don't agree with, the person that's more educated that I don't agree with hits them with so many fucking facts that I'll be like, I'm gonna get off. Because we're losing.
That happens a lot on my page too.
We are losing this battle.
It'd be some heated debates. When it wasn't even, he didn't actually even meet with anyone. He was in contact with both parties. He had a very in-depth plan. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I have not read the whole thing. I probably should change this camera. I have not read, the whole thing. But what happened was Trump already had one. This is also the other thing that people need to know. Trump already had one. He made adjustments to his plan based upon what Ice Cube had submitted. And then you had the Democrats, which is like, no, y'all can just wait till after the election. I don't know why they said that. I actually I'll say skim through the majority of Biden's policy. It's broken down very well if anyone wants to go to like his website and read.
Them niggas ain't gonna read.
Well, that's not my problem. I'm giving information to anybody that's willing to read that. But I don't see Biden's plan like happening. Like, it's like I was having a conversation with someone and I'm just like, it sounds like utopia. Like, I feel like he's promising like a lot of things. I don't know if he can follow through. But I understand when people are just like, yo, Trump is like 10 times worse than whatever Biden can and cannot pull off, so they just rather just go with him. I get it. But I think people should still investigate both parties and not just compare the two, because that's who you have. You need to look at each person really as individuals, because if you had a third person that had nothing against them that Biden and Trump had, what would you say about Biden?
I mean,
no, seriously, what would be your thoughts on Biden if there was someone to compare him to that didn't have the things against him or her that he has? You view it different. And what Cube was saying when he did this, it wasn't just about each party. It was about whoever is currently in charge. This is who I want to talk to, whoever's currently in charge, whoever may be in charge. He was like, that's why I submitted it to both. I'm not about to pick and choose one side or the other. No, I'm going to sit here and say, okay, there's 2 of y'all. One of y'all going to win. Let me present this to both of y'all. And people actually have a problem with that.
Because niggas have a problem with every fucking thing.
Well, y'all gotta stop having a problem with every goddamn thing. Like,
They
that's
have a
crazy.
problem with fucking everything. Every fucking thing. Like, I tell people all the time, like, the main people that you always see that's screaming about reparations, I'll be thinking to myself, like, the worst thing they could probably do at a certain point is give people just reparations and sit back and be like, all right, we're going to give you reparations. Then we go be like, all right, cool, send it. And every family get 20,000. And then we go do the same thing with that 20 that we did with that 1,200. Or that you niggas did with the PUA. You're going to go to Cancun, go to Vegas, get some crab. And then after that, they going to look back and be like, all right, well, how did everything go with the reparations?
See, not everybody did that, though.
Most motherfuckers did. How many people started?
You know what it is, though? And I'm glad you said it, because this was actually an episode on Netflix, one of their documentaries. And part of what they explained was the racial gap. And they went into generational things that has happened to us. One of the biggest things we lack is the people around us that we're able to network with just within our family. Like, a lot of us have still just been the first person to graduate college and things like that. So stuff like that puts you into more depth. So when it comes to saying, well, people just spent it, well, some people really didn't know what to do properly with that, though.
Yeah, but if we go scream reparations, all right, cool. Let's have a plan of what we gonna do with our reparations, because guess what? If we come out of this motherfucker with reparations and y'all ain't went out and bought a not an acre of land to build a home on, or you ain't sat up here and put that plan of yours that every time we get on Facebook and we talk about some shit, y'all be like, well, I would choose the, 800 credit score or 8 million or 800,000 or some crazy number. And people be like, well, you can start a business and then do that. And then everybody talks about starting a business. Well, you get the money to start a business and then you don't start the fucking business. Like, it's us. A lot of times it's fucking us. Because what happens is sometimes they be like, all right, we're going to give you this. And then let's see what you're going to do with it. And then you don't show up. Show up. If they say yes to reparations, if they say yes to another 1,200, we need to get together and be like, hey, let's do something with this money. Let's not just do no stupid shit. Because y'all be like, oh, some people had to catch up on bills. Why were they behind on bills? Why were they
at work? Some people really didn't go back to work for real.
I mean, it was a lot of people that was still, listen, if I see everybody in the motherfucking mama out here in fucking Miami and Vegas and shit.
That's people in your network, though. You got to take that in consideration. You're not thinking about everybody.
How many new businesses have we seen?
Well, some of us, it wasn't about new business. Some of us, it was investing in the stocks.
Well,
shit. In the stock market.
A lot of people didn't even do that.
This is true. I don't know who did what, to be honest, because around my network, it actually was more people. It was like people that didn't say shit about what they doing with their money. It was the people that did stocks like I did, and it was people that took trips.
Listen,
that's who was around me.
Don't get me wrong. I don't have any problem with you taking trips or doing whatever you want to do with your money, but I look at it in a certain type of way. If soon as money drop, all of a sudden everybody's in Vegas. Everybody's in and it's still quarantine. Keep in mind, we are still fucking quarantined. You're just putting your entire life at risk. We don't know anything about this at this point. And y'all like, man, if I get this money, I'm out this bitch. Like, god damn, like, let's come together and just do some shit. Because if we complain about every fucking thing and then people be like, all right, well, we're gonna come in and we're gonna do such and such. And then there's not, like, it's been times when I said, listen, I help people out. If you need help, hit me up. And, you know, you can go on my page and look at it and look back in March, whenever the fuck it was. I said, if you need help, hit me up. I come. I know, like, when people was out of toilet paper, I went to the west side. It was plenty of fucking toilet paper on the west side. I got toilet paper. It was only one person that really hit me up. And somebody else hit me up for somebody else. And I told them to tell that person to hit me up. Because if I hit them up, then we're not friends. It goes to their spam. So I'm like, tell them to hit me up. If they need some toilet paper, whatever, food, whatever, let me know. I'll come through. So, you know, I went back to that person. I was like, listen, here's what I can do. I was like, I can put you in a situation where I can get you about $200 extra every single month. Did you want to go through with this? You really ain't got to do anything. They was like, okay, nah, I really don't want to do that. What? Well, you won't accept $200 where you don't have to do anything?
People are used to being scammed so much now. Like,
but if there's nothing to scam about this, like if a person comes to your house and drops off $300 worth of toilet paper and this, that, and the third, and then they telling you like, listen, if you need help, if you're not working right now, I can put you in a position where you can get about $100 and $200 every single month.
It's like you, where they don't want to have the conversation any further. Just like you not wanting to explain no further after felon. Don't want felon, all right, you don't want me. It's the same thing. You bring up something like that and people are so used to hearing about nothing but scam, because how could something like that be possible too? You have to,
but I explain it to them. I tell them what it is. It's not like I'm just saying I'm gonna give you $200. I tell them what the process is, and I say here's what it is that here's where the money comes from. This is what happens. This is what we go through. This is where the money comes from. I'm like, okay, are you cool with that? And then they be like, well, all right, well, nah, I don't really want to go through with it. I'm like, it's free fucking money. I'm like, there's nothing. I'm like, you can look into it for yourself. You can Google it yourself. There's no, it's not like it's a scam to it. You can look at the shit. You can see it's legitimate. But people don't want to do that. They just want, like, if you're going to give me some shit, I'll take it. But if there's anything, if I have to put in any work, oh, well, no. And I'm not going to sit up here and criticize, because you know what? I do this exact same shit where, you know, I've passed on plenty of opportunities just because, I don't know, maybe I have underlying depression, or I'm just a procrastinator. I don't know what it is, but it's a lot of times where opportunities come that I just don't take advantage of because of whatever reason it is. But I'm not in a position where I need that opportunity. It's just an extra opportunity. It's some shit where I could have just made a lot more money, or I just could have been in a better position, or I could have quit my job. And I could have quit my job, you know what I'm saying, years ago, if I would have just been like, all right, well, here's what I'm going to do. And it'd take me like 3 months to put my plan in action. And I could have quit my job for real. But, you know, like, I'm doing the same thing as y'all. The difference is, you know what I'm saying, like, these are things that I have to do. It's not PUA money. It's not grant money. It's not a loan. It's not any of that shit. Y'all are just asking like, oh, I want reparations. What are you going to do with your reparations? Don't complain about it.
Do y'all really even think that reparations are even possible?
Yeah.
How?
Listen.
Because with reparations, you have to know exactly who. Oh, my hair's almost. You have to know exactly who would have had family that was actually former slaves in order to pay out reparations. There was not good records kept of that. Shit, half of us have probably been best friends and maybe some other scarier things with some distant cousins and didn't know because of us just not knowing each other. So when it comes to something like that, how do you pay out reparations?
The same way they did the $1,200. If you pay taxes, if you're a tax-paying citizen,
no.
Tax-paying Negro.
No.
If you're black, if you have a household, or if you're, you know what I'm saying, like if you have a social security, or go by a social security number of the number of African Americans, just like y'all do a census, and y'all can tell how many African Americans there are.
But that doesn't mean that your family was actually previously a slave, though.
Are we getting
is that what y'all want reparations for?
Slavery, or are we getting reparations
that's
for
what the next
being?
question is.
Okay, so you telling me that? So we're asking about people that came over after slavery, like real Africans?
I'm talking about anyone. Well, then, you going to a whole other subject with that. But yes,
are we getting reparations for being slavery, or are we getting reparations for being treated unfair and unjust?
That's what I'm asking.
Both. 2 checks. We should get 2 checks. Give us 2 checks. But I also want us to make smart decisions if we get anything. Even if it's another $1,200 just for that shit. Just like, you sit down for a second and be like, I'm about to get $1,200 free dollars. Let me do something. Let me go out here and let me pay off a debt or something and get my credit right, and let me go out here, because trust me, you can go out to these countries, and not countries as in another country, but in the country, and you can purchase an acre of land. And over time, you can slowly put into that to build a home. So you're renting an apartment, but guess what? In 10 years, 15 years, when your kids is grown, you have a home that's on 1 acre of land. You own the land and the home that you built over time, over 15 years. You built that how you want it to be built. You're in the middle of nowhere, ain't nobody around. You can do what you want to do. Get your ATV, ride around. You can do whatever you want to do out there. Buy you an acre of land. Get that land. Do what you want to do with it. Build a fucking cabin and have people rent out their motherfucking cabin out there in the woods. Do that. Do anything, but just don't get this money and then just don't do shit, and then just be looking crazy, and you going back to a job making $10 an hour, talking about, man, I gotta quit my job. You just had $1,200. You got 3 checks in one lump sum, and you did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Buy a pound of weed if you got to, and repackage that.
Don't listen to that.
Get a weed, get something, get a plug, do something.
But how can you change people's habits though? Like in order to do this, and I totally understand, feels like you have to change people's general, just everyday like spending habits. You know what I'm saying? Because then we have to get in the way of stop listening to mass marketing. You know what I'm saying? You got the new iPhone coming out. I'm pretty sure there's tons of people who's preparing for the new iPhone,
Not
new
this
iWatch
guy.
and things. But I'm just saying, like, how can people stray away from those things that when they get that lump sum of money to not want those things, they see that's, you know, being propaganda to our minds that we need every day.
It's like somebody, you being broke for so long and not being able to do extra shit, and then somebody gives you money out of nowhere and now you can go and do that extra shit. That's what it is.
But somebody should sit them down and be like, well, guess what? I'm going to tell you, shit, we on Facebook all the time and everybody has fucking great advice. People give great, let me tell you, the advice that people give on Facebook is excellent. But the problem is this. Sometimes I know the people that's giving that advice, and I'm like, they don't live like that. I'm like, they not following their own advice. I'm like, you not living the shit that you talking about. You telling people that they should go out and do this and get their credit right, and they should purchase this, and, you know, home ownership, this and that. I'm like, motherfucker, why don't you own a home? What's stopping you? Because it don't take nothing. You telling me that your credit is that bad that you can't get your credit score to a 600? You can pay off some shit and get it to a 600 and then be like, boom, credit union. So if you telling other people about how great it is to be a homeowner and home ownership and this, that, and the third, this is just an example, then you better own a home, because it don't take shit to own it. If you a first time home buyer, homeowner, man, let me tell you something. You can get out there and talk to people and they'll tell you 100 different things. Are you black? They might have a program for you. I definitely know if you're a black female that's a single parent, they got a program for you. I know a female that makes fucking $30,000 a year, and she got into a program and she purchased a home. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what her check is every week, but I made $20,000. I know what my check looked like. So hers was a little bit more than that. And she purchased a nice home. It's so many programs out here. Even where I work, Sway's Lock, they got a program to help out families in need, where they actually help you. Like, you have to help repair the home, but actually when you finish helping repair that home, you own that home. They have 100 programs for you to be a homeowner. So if you're talking about home ownership and you're not a homeowner, like, just do it. Everything that we talk about, everything that we argue and we tell people to do, if you would just be like, I'm gonna do it. Everything that I told that person they need to do, I'm gonna get off my ass and I'm gonna do it. Just do it, and just be everything that we talk about on Facebook. Because everything on social media is perfect. Everything is perfect. We got perfect kids. Our kids don't do that. I would never let my kids do. I would never let my daughter wear that. I would never do this. I would never. You gotta save up 70% of your paycheck. Oh, you gotta max out your 401. Y'all don't do none of that shit.
Sound good.
Y'all don't do none of that shit. Y'all be so fucked up, and I be thinking, and I buy into it a lot of times, cause I'm a person that actually have conversations with people, and when I do, I listen to what they're telling me, and a lot of times what they're telling me don't match up with everything. Like, you can't tell me like how much money you making and you getting money, and then you got your pictures with money all to your ear, and the next thing I know, you over here, somebody's like, man, you know, she sell pussy for like $80. I'm like, $80? She had a stack of money like how many $80 licks did she hit to get a stack of money like this, because she had a picture with money like this? And I'm like, why am I buying into this fact that she's telling me how she's getting money and she's doing this and she's doing that, and I have a business and I'm doing it, like, but you selling pussy for $80, at least $100? $80 Ain't your pussy worth at least $100?
You was
180,
going around,
maybe?
y'all. A lot of y'all was going around with still $40. So why are you?
Man, listen. I'm gonna be honest. I'll be honest.
Was just a thing.
I'll be honest. Like $40. I don't really know. I don't know where 40 came from. I don't know nobody that was really like selling pussy for $40.
It's just there. Somebody just started talking about $40.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that just caught on. But like, in all honesty, a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, if a female was like, you know what I'm saying, 150 for some pussy, you may not want to deal with the stress of anybody. You be like, shit, 150, you go leave? And then you ain't gonna call my phone, you ain't about to hit me up on social media, stalk my page or nothing for 150? Okay. I mean, I don't know what other people's dating life is like, and I'm probably not good at dating, but shit, that's a date for me. Like, yeah, shit, a nice restaurant and you tip. Like, do y'all tip? I went to Top Golf. Top Golf is $47 per hour. If you do 2 hours there, you get some food and shit and a tip. Shit, that's about $200.
Yep.
That's about $2 plus tax. That's about $200. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, let's just skip Top Golf, get to the fucking, and I give you a 150.
Now, when I said that on this show, you motherfuckers sat here and told me I was crazy.
I like
I don't remember that.
No.
I don't recall that.
I said that exact fucking thing. I said that same thing. I said y'all could just skip the date and say, how about the money? And you, sir.
I like that.
This guy right here thought I was fucking crazy.
I like the process.
You are crazy, Ricky.
I like the process. I would like to see how far this whole Top Golf date's gonna take me. Like, I'm gonna spread that out.
No. Man, fuck
I want to see if the dates get better.
This is some bullshit.
If the dates get better, does it get better? If the sex get better? Maybe.
I don't know. I only date people that like I don't know, like dating for me is different. Like a date is just, I just want to do some shit. It's not even a date. Like it's not even, you can't really date. Like I'll be like, I really want to go out to this restaurant, so I'm gonna have somebody come with me. It's not like I'm like, hey, if he was free, and then like I based the date around the particular female or anything. No, I just wanted to do some shit. Like I wanted to go to Top Golf.
And that's not a date.
It's a date because I took somebody that, you know what I'm saying, like
you just didn't want to go by yourself.
Yeah, but it has to be somebody I actually like. It's not like I'm just taking somebody like, oh yeah, she was cute, so I took her. Like, no, I have to like you. I have to enjoy the conversation. We have to be able to laugh and joke. Like, if you uptight or, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, well, you know, if you're not a 401k owner and you're not at least $20,000 in the bank, then I just can't, like, I don't, none of that shit. I like, it has to be somebody that, you could be a prostitute. If you funny. Yeah, if you a funny ass prostitute, you might get a date, because I'm here for the enjoyment. I don't give a fuck about none of the other shit. The money's gonna get spent anyway. It's gonna get spent on some shit like that, or I'm gonna be at work and I'm gonna buy some extra bullshit like a fucking hot tub to put in my living room or my dining room that I don't fucking need. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just bad with money like that. Like, I just spend, bless you, Rick.
Thank you. I was hoping somebody.
You know, I'm just bad with money like that. It's just gonna get spent somewhere. So if I just want to go to Top Golf, and you know what I'm saying, like it's somebody that's funny or some shit like that, I'm like, all right, let's go. Or if it's a restaurant, like it's a restaurant in Akron, you know what I'm saying, like I've been wanting to go to, but quarantine and all this other extra shit, I ain't been able to go. So I might take a date to the fucking restaurant in Akron, but you know what I'm saying, it's not because I'm like, oh yeah, I was thinking about dating somebody. And
well, at least it's like you have somewhat of a plan, because I end up going somewhere and then like nobody knows what to do with me. Cause I guess I just be all over the board. It's like, well, where do you want to go? And then I don't eat meat, so it's like, well, where do you eat it? I'm just like, it doesn't matter as long as there's, you know, food options. I'll eat a salad.
You're like a tree. You're like early Topanga. You know,
my thing is this.
Like, you know how Topanga was weird? That's Ricky.
No, she's what is her name? Daria. That's what it is. Daria.
My girl.
You don't know what to do with Ricky.
I feel like we being some butthead.
I don't know.
Ricky's just here to kill it.
What do you eat? I'm just like, why don't you just plan something, and then I'll show up. That's how that works.
Cause man, you make shit difficult, Ricky.
How?
That's difficult.
How is that difficult?
Because she don't eat meat. They don't. Because somebody don't want to be like, man, I took her to this nice ass restaurant. We got dressed up. She had the salad, plain, no dressing.
I still eat seafood, so I could do the fish or some shrimp or something like that. That's not true.
Shit. So now we went from a $150 date to a fucking $200 date.
I say that though.
Expensive.
I do say that. Like, hey, you know, I used to actually be like the cheap date. Like, I would order like the pretty much the cheapest thing on the menu. I can't do that no more.
We know, shit. The cheapest thing on the menu is fucking scallops. Them scallops will probably gonna run you about $35.
Yeah, those
It's
days
too
are
much.
over.
I'm enjoying my peace. I'd rather just roll a fucking blunt. I'm dating blunts right now. Like, I'm in this like love relationship with marijuana that is just so lovely right now. That's who holds me at night, Mary
Wow.
Jane.
My enjoyment is popping edibles and just sleeping good. That's it. Like between this homeschooling shit, like god damn, like you know it's a sad day in America when a black single dad is pretty much making a proposal to his baby mama to like if you just stay home and just be like a at home teacher for our son, I'll just give you whatever it is that you were making after taxes. So I don't have to do it.
Just so you don't have to do it.
I mean, because of my schedule, you gotta understand. On every other week, you know what I'm saying? Like my days change. So when I have my son Tuesday, then Wednesday, and Friday, I'm his teacher. And if I get off work at 6 a.m., I have to start class at 8:30 a.m. There is no sleep. Like I'm literally driving is my only time.
If you had a teenager that was already doing this with another kid and you could pay him to do that however many days out of the week, would you be interested in that?
Hold on, say that again.
If there was a child, a teenager, well, he's 18 now, and is already doing this with another 7-year-old.
Okay.
All you have to do is pay this 18-year-old, and he'll keep up with his schoolwork.
I mean, is he good? Is he accurate?
Yeah, actually.
What school? Would it have to be the same school?
You got this. We'll talk about this after. We'll discuss.
You just have young ones like myself and just hope that y'all kids get it right before my kids start school. Like, hope y'all as the guinea pigs get it together just in case.
Well, I mean, this online school is like new to some. Online school, my daughter did it 2 years ago. So
I got my master's online. I fucking loved it. Like I got my master's at my own pace. Like I like the fact that you can I like my own pace because I'm a procrastinator like you, and I get the edge off when it's due like the day before. Like it just drives me to do it like at my own pace.
Now that you graduated, did you ever cheat? Because you know it's like a couple of websites you can go to. You put in your information for that school, you pay money, and they'll take all of your like math or English classes for you.
Did you just ask him to admit on camera and live?
No, I never cheated.
If he cheated,
I was never a long writer. I was just like bullshit the topic. I was a bullshitter though, as far as writing papers.
See, the thing with me is I always had that website, and I got like a friend that's he's like a hood genius. Like you could tell him like, hey man, I got to write a paper on such and such. He'd be like, all right. He'd be like, tell me more about it. And I'll be like, all right, man, so here's what the paper got to be about. Boom, 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 boom. Like, dude will go home, write this paper for you in like 15 minutes. Like, he'd be like, how many pages? 10 pages? It'd take me like 15, 20 minutes. He'd be like, 15, 20 fucking minutes. And he'd get like a B+ on the paper. He'd be like, how the fuck is this dude doing this shit? Like, I had a friend that was really like that. But he was also like a hood genius. So, it's not like, he could only do that shit for like me and people that he was friends with. Like, I tell other people and females will be like, oh, see if he can write this paper. And then he'll be like, all right, well, if you're trying to give up some pussy. And I'd be like, dude, I'd be like, just write the goddamn like, accept the money that she's giving. Like, she'll give you $100 to write a paper. And you trying to fuck. He'd be like, man, she had them titties out. I'd be like, god damn it. Just write the paper, dude.
Well, he definitely needs that class you were talking about when you get extra money like that. Not to waste it. Somebody is trying to pay you and
he wants the pussy. He don't want the money. You know what I'm saying? He don't want the money. But he is like, he's really like a fucking genius. Like, he is a fucking genius when it comes to like school shit. Quick. That's how I got through. Like, any papers that I needed, I had to write, and I was like, man, I just don't know. He'd write that shit. That shit would be due in fucking 45 minutes before midnight, and he'd be like, all right, man, I submitted it for you. I'd be like, did you? He'd be like, yeah. Get like a B+ or a fucking A on the paper. I'd be like, this dude writing fucking A papers like this. I'm like, you should work at NASA or something. You're wasting your talents here. why are you friends with me?
Using payment, like, come on.
Like, why are you friends with me? Like, I'm pretty good at like testing shit. Like, I can pull off a C without studying for a test, a C, but I'm not getting no A's. That nigga get an A, a B, a B plus. That motherfucker was a fucking amazing. That's how I made it through. Cause if I had to go to school and go to class every day, I wouldn't. I couldn't did it. I couldn't have did it. Like if y'all, I don't know what y'all schools like.
Isn't like the point of going to school though is for you to do it yourself?
Shit, no, it's not. All it is credentials.
I thought it was.
It's just credentials.
I did it myself.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the point.
It's credentials.
I did it myself.
When you talk to people, ask them like how much, unless it's specific. Like if you went to school for computers, yes, you're using everything that you learn in school towards your career. But if you ask most people, they'll tell you like, I took it like, I used like maybe 1 or 2 classes that I took in actual life. Like, it's just credentials. Just fucking credentials. I know a female right now, I think she just got her doctorate. And she has always had like just the bum dudes. And I'm thinking to myself like, you have a doctorate. Like, why are you fucking with dudes that don't have shit going for them? Like, and you be proud, you be holding, you be like, yeah, this is my boy. Like, no, don't tell people that. You have a doctorate. You can't even take him around your other doctorate friends or bachelor degree friends. I'm like, it's just a piece of paper. It doesn't mean that, you know what I'm saying, like you got smarter or any of that shit. It don't mean shit. It's just a piece of paper. It means you put forth the effort. Supervisors at my job, they have a piece of paper that says, I went to school, I got a piece of paper. It don't matter what you have. They'll tell you, it doesn't matter what you have a degree in to be a supervisor at my position, at my job. It does not matter. It could be arts and crafts.
Well,
you can have a bachelor's degree in arts and crafts.
Bachelor's degree.
And they'll be like, all right, well, would you like to be a supervisor at Sway's Lot? All righty then, bring it on.
Well, what does it take to be a supervisor at Sway's Lot, though? Like, did you actually...
You have to have a bachelor's degree in any fucking thing.
But that's
to your
what
degree
I'm saying.
in anything.
What do you need to know to be a...
It's just pretty much like paperwork and being able to deal with people and pretty much like a supervisor anywhere. Like a supervisor anywhere is pretty much the same thing. All right, what did you do? What was your numbers? What was your numbers? What did we do? Here, put all this in there. Then the plant manager will come along and look at all the things like, well, why didn't this person do this? Why didn't that person do that? It's just it's like a pyramid. There's one guy at the top, and if some shit happens, he gonna be like, all right, well, bring it down to this person. That's the plant manager. And then that plant manager will be like, I'm not taking the shit for this.
You don't really need a bachelor's degree.
You don't. Honestly, if you're there for 2 years, you can apply for a supervisor position. Like, it don't really take much of anything to, you know what I'm saying? But that's a lot of positions, though. You could take your fucking degree anywhere and be like, well, I have a degree in fucking drawing. And they'd be like, oh, okay, well, would you like to be a supervisor here at such and such? And they'd be like, all right, cool. And then you don't put none of that shit to use. Like, all of those English papers you wrote. How many English papers did you write where you put that shit, you like, I use that?
Yeah.
Nothing that I've learned in any history class in school, regular school, in college, any of it.
Well, we got bullshit ass history though. Like,
I mean, shit. How much of it would I really need? Unless you really go apply it to life and say history always repeats itself, and you can apply that to life. Well, yeah, then. But other than that, it's no point in time you'll be like, you know what? I really couldn't figure out what to do at my company. Then I thought how the Romans took over. You'd be like,
I've thought that way.
Yeah, because it can lead to motivation.
That way.
So
it depends on what you write your paper about, though.
So the way you will get a promotion is pretty much a takeover, Ricky.
Like the little stuff I write up, if I take the time to do it on the page, I mean, I have to have some kind of English class for that. So, but I get what you said. It gets.
Trust me, it is not.
But still being creative and putting words together and in order for it to make sense for people to read, like you still need it.
Man, that's basic.
What I learned, because I was a communication major, but what I learned is that it's power as far as writing, especially when you get into like contracts, understand what things are when you buy stuff or when you invest in stuff. It's good to understand the English language as far as writing and understanding, because words mean things. Words organized a certain way means certain things too. So, I mean, I guess as an adult, I take heed to it. So if something breaks down, like a warranty about something like a refrigerator or stove or something, I'm glad that I'm good at concise, learning how to read to understand what my warranty means. So if something were to happen, I know I'm not wasting my time like reinvesting. And that's important shit. Stoves and refrigerators, but that's adult shit. That's how I look at it. If I want to apply it to today, like what's the purpose of that stuff? It's just so I know how to read and write and understand what things mean. And
speaking of the purpose of today, I know everyone will be watching this after, but today is Marshall Mathers' birthday. There is no way in the fucking world we was about to sit here and have a whole fucking conversation. Plus, we haven't filmed since my birthday. So there's that too, because, you know, me and him is like just 7 days apart. But yes, today is Marshall Mathers' birthday. I'm wearing my Stan hoodie. Y'all can be mad, ignore it. I don't give a fuck. It's Marshall Mathers, better known as Eminem's birthday.
You wearing your Joker leggings too, I see.
No, these is N25D. Thank you very much for bringing it up. They actually say Unity on the side of them, though.
I can go for a bag of M&Ms.
It looks like she's really trying to get
I
up.
could just go for it.
It like she's really on her Harley Quinn shit. Like, I'm gonna really get the Joker with these pants.
I might. I don't know.
I'm gonna really snatch up the Joker with these pants. What if Eminem dressed up as the Joker
He
today
has
after I
before.
mentioned that? You'd be like, oh my god, he's a fucking
He has
genius.
before.
What, dressed up as the Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah, what if you do it today after I mentioned that you got your Harley Quinn shit on? You know what I thought was a good example, and I don't know why I didn't think of this, but let's ask ourselves this. Because Donald Trump has just actually proved my point. Like, he went to college. Do you really think that he is putting forth anything that he went to school for to become president or continue? Like, because let's be honest, he could have dropped out in the 11th grade and done the exact same job that he's doing right now and talk this exact same way. He doesn't talk like, or he doesn't communicate, or I guarantee you when he reads those contracts and shit, somebody else reads that shit and says, okay, break it down. It's not him reading that shit like, I have a college degree, I'll read it myself. He's not doing that. Somebody else is just reading that shit. He just applied, nigga. He says, I have the credentials, I'm going to apply. It's just a piece of paper that says, I'm old enough, and I have a degree that says I can apply for the presidency. That's all. It worked.
It worked.
I didn't say it didn't work.
I haven't really said much about the fact that it, you know, it worked since it worked. Like, ain't nothing else to say. The shit fucking worked. I mean, for real, could you imagine someone that tried, like, before, like an Al Gore or somebody, and looking at Trump win and being pissed the fuck off, or anybody that actually went through the step-by-step process to become president and did that shit, and he just pop up, like, it worked.
Because you got to do it sometimes. You got to.
Like, that's it. Like, it's, but the thing is, we're in this social media world, and I think that's why he it's still weird to say he won, because I hate the way our system is set up, and it's not about the popular vote. I just still feel like whoever get the most votes should fucking win. Like, I will never understand why that isn't the way it is.
I kind of agree with why at the same time, because you know when the All-Star game come on every year, and then they vote for like an All-Star person to win, or like the celebrity All-Star, vote for a certain person. I think one year for like the celebrity All-Star game, Kevin Hart just kept winning because they just kept voting for Kevin Hart regardless of what he did like in the game. It was just a popular vote. Like, you don't want like the popular vote all the way to win, because
Why not?
I mean, what if Cardi B like just...
That's the system, though.
The system and be qualified to run the country.
Well, neither was he.
He was qualified, though. I mean, to be president, you do have to qualify.
Okay, first of all, besides there being qualifications, there needs to be qualifications in order for you to run. And I think we've had this subject before. I think there needs to be a maximum on the age limit. We is looking at two old ass people, whichever one of them fucking win, as fucking president. All this old as shit. Like, come the fuck no.
Whatever restrictions he
there
did
needs
meet,
to
though.
not be lifelong seats held, because right now we're
can't.
looking at Trump up getting the one lady is probably going to be voted in for the Supreme Court. They're trying to say, well, she's conservative, she represents conservative. The thing is, when Ginsburg passed, you're not replacing her with someone that thinks like Ginsburg. I think those things like that need to be in place too. Okay, this person passed, you need to replace them with someone with the same ideas. You're looking at a lifelong seat. Or Get rid of those the way these terms and seats and all this bullshit is set up. Oh, y'all got me aggravated.
That's not gonna happen.
You know what? I think here's the problem. I think we look at things wrong. Like, we always argue about the wrong shit instead of thinking, like, you know what? Why is it we don't ever just look at ourselves and say, let's just focus on us as individuals? Because anytime I look at this shit, I always think to myself, like, man, I really got to do something. Because, you know, growing up, they was like, man, they ain't never go vote no black man as president. They voted a black person as president. Then growing up, they was like, you can't be, like, you got to work your way up. You got to be city council. You got to go Senate. You got to go Congress. Then you can run for president. And then Trump comes along and he was like, I ain't doing shit.
We're at a different time, too. Like, once upon a time, like, those backgrounds you needed to have. And who ushered in this whole social media thing was Obama. Now, he didn't use it the way it ended up being used, but that has such an impact on the way people view politicians now. Like I had just said, like a couple of days or whatever ago, I wish there was no campaigning. I wish all we had was maybe the person's face and on paper the things they have done in their past of any seat they're held, their background. No media to sway your vote one way or another. Like, what the fuck would us voting look like if we had things like that? Because on top of that, it takes away from being able to just buy the seat. We looking at now, you have Biden, he has earned the most money of any presidential candidate in history. And yet they still out here with monster shit on Facebook with their hands out asking broke people for money. That's out of work right now. Both parties are doing this. I don't want to just put that on Biden. But when you see that,
it's about, but everything is about money, though. So you got to understand, like, you're talking about taking out the money process.
Yes. What for? Why can't we just have who these people are, what their policies will be when they win? Why do we need all this extra shit that comes with the elections?
You know what?
But you wouldn't need the money if that wasn't how they were set up. And I feel like that's part of the reason why so many people got a little agitated with Ice Cube. Because you're supposed to just automatically go for Biden. No, it would be really nice to have another choice. Like, I gotta be honest. I am that person wishing there was another choice that actually had a chance.
Let me give you a good
name.
Let me introduce you to my man Ralph Nader. You ever heard about the name Ralph Nader? Ralph Nader.
But it's because
black people not gonna vote for somebody with that close to nigger.
Listen,
anybody with a name close to nigger, we're not voting for.
No.
Nader.
Somebody with a devil been like,
after time,
Ralph nigger.
But who wanted to vote for him though? You still need to be someone worth voting for. Having just the money clearly wasn't enough, but you need to be somebody worth voting for. And I just wish the system wasn't the way the fuck it is.
Yeah, they did have what's his name, didn't they? The old dude.
Who? I missed what y'all said.
Bernie, yeah. They had Bernie.
He dropped out.
Bernie.
No, he got voted out. He got, you know, when you got to.
But he old as shit.
He tried last time and nobody voted for him.
Because you know why?
Over him.
The reason because you have to be of a certain age, and a lot of times it's like before, like I said, when you growing up, they tell you, hey, you can't be black and be president, and then a black man does it, and then you be like, well, you have to be, you know what I'm saying, in politics to be president, and then Trump does it because we've only known about old motherfuckers doing it. No young person be like, I could probably run for president.
What's the minimum age?
Kanye.
Is it 40? 35. It must be 35.
I don't know what it is, but Kanye was the first person that really stepped up and was like, man, I should run for president. But we laughed at Kanye, so when young people go up in there.
No, the thing was, people more so laughed at Kanye not just because of that, is because people was mad at Trump or mad at him for meeting with Trump and wearing a hat and shit. It wasn't just about, like, if Kanye had said some shit like that after he said, George Bush doesn't like black people, more people would have stood behind him. No, it wasn't just the fact of him doing it. It was the fact that now people were mad at him because
he's a rapper as well. See, the thing is this, and we look at people different, but it's because he's a rapper. Like, Trump can get away with some shit and, you know what I'm saying, have a reality show or whatever, and then run for president, and then people will be like, oh, they'll take him more serious than we would a black person that did it.
I think we've had this discussion before. That was just timing. That was coming off of a 2-term black president. Exactly. That was being able to play a race card real easy. Yeah, like I don't see him pulling that off before Obama was in office, to be honest with you. I don't think he would have got that far. But he played that race card. He played the things are shifting. If you're white and you're no longer on top, like he was able to play off of that. I can't say before Obama being elected
they did that
could have been able to
because
do that.
we picked Obama 2 terms. I think whatever the powers may be, whoever out there was like, I'm going to give you, you want to pick that black man for 2 terms? I'm going to give you somebody ignorant. And they said that's Trump. This is what it is. We're just mad.
And there are people that voted for him.
And they're mad. And they're also mad too. Now, back to the statement I wanted to bring up. They're mad too about Obama wanting to end global warming and do more things to help as far as like our environmental things, instead of for the classic coal and digging for gas and resources and things like that. The whole change, his whole accord that he had with the whole world, like those are a lot of different things that people just wanted to go back to the old way, that old brick and mortar style, digging for gold, digging for coal, digging for oil type of style, and we've been hurting our own environment doing that. So they want to get rid of that. That's
I mean, if we did have somebody that just ran for president and they didn't have no background, they was like a 40-year-old dude. You know what I'm saying? Are we really going to get behind them and really be serious about putting them in office? If this all was, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, nobody's saying just throw anybody else.
I'm not saying anybody, but I'm saying somebody that we can actually put in there that's credible, because now it would be hard to find with social media. Like, everybody that says something on social media where they're going to go back to fucking 2010, like, on MySpace in 2010, you said that bros over hoes, and you'd be something like...
Well, that's going to come with, like, anyone of a certain age, especially if they haven't been planning on holding some kind of seat throughout their life. But does it really matter? I mean, the further we get into things like that, how much do they really hold weight?
I mean,
once upon a time, you couldn't be president, like with some of the things you said. You couldn't be president without having a Christian background. You couldn't be president without being married. Like, you could be. Those weren't, like, in stone or written down. But as far as people voting for you, if you were a male, they wanted to see you with their female and their family. Those things don't matter no more. You looking at Trump in office now, and he's how many wives?
Why aren't we more inspired then to be like, man, we should all just find somebody to be president that we think just go get in there? Like, why don't Q
somebody
run?
like me has kind of been saying that for a while, which is also why I got like excited when Q popped up and was like, I don't really fuck with neither one of y'all for real, but since one of y'all is gonna win, here I am.
Why don't he run?
But that's what I was saying before. I wish we didn't have those things in place. And if there was campaign funding, there should be a cap on it, like there is in sports. Like, there needs to be a cutoff to how much you get to spend. That way you can just buy it. Because when it comes to spending like that, basically whoever spends the most money is most likely to win. Whoever's able to spend the most money, when you have the Republican and the Democrat, it knocks that third party out of there because they can't keep up with funding.
Yeah.
You've had people that were probably more worthy of being president, but they couldn't afford to be president. So guess what? You don't get to be president. If you put a cap on campaigning at the bare fucking minimum, you can stop a lot of that to happen. But
but it's
because it
a lot of other shit going on.
It allows other people to make decisions. It allows unions to be involved. It's a group that the top people, like say for like the Walmart company, your Targets, your big manufacturing, your big oil, your big resources, that allows them to put their hand in the bid of how they want certain things to go.
Yeah, it's
who
easier
they want
to
be in
too.
Power as well too, over top, you know what I'm saying, government organizations that help them make their money and help them get ahead with certain things. So that's what it's about.
I mean, everything is about money.
Yep.
It's always about money. And everything that Ricky is saying is pretty much like when you see and I've seen it in person. Like, I've seen white people, and no offense to white people, but I've seen white people sit back and say, as far as sports, like, when they're talking about contracts, they're like, well, why don't they just go in there and play for the love of the game? And I'm thinking, like, because they're making money off of it. They're like, everything's about money. Like, what do you mean? Like, you want the black dudes to go and play for the love of the game?
When it comes to this, when it comes to the leader of the free world, when it comes to the person sitting in the Oval Office, that shouldn't be the way it is. And I've definitely seen more people still voting, but they're more acknowledging the fact, especially for us being black in America, we're not really getting anything for our vote. So it's like, it takes time for things to change. We clearly, in this next election, aren't going to see any of the things that we asked for. Like, it's just, there's not enough time. It's just not going to fucking happen. So hopefully within the next 4 years, those things will happen. And I got to end this show. It's also where I'm going to this. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
We didn't even say who we was. I didn't even tell y'all
I was
Maseratii.
just on the screen. Like,
I didn't even tell y'all Maseratii.
Conversation. I just like, fuck it. I'll just go through.
I go do my Smith. Y'all remember on the Simpsons? You remember Smith or what's his name? Mr. Burns had them vests, and it was like all endangered species, and he had made vests out of them.
Nah.
And he was like, see my vest, something. Like, y'all remember? Hey, Google that. Mr. Burns was killing off these endangered species making vests. I know he had a song. That's why I want to do my vest song. See my vest, Polo crest on my
Facebook. Fall Through Stup. Also YouTube. YouTube has
Polo crest on my vest.
Been going up. Also at 8:30 on Monday. On Roku, Grind City Network, 11 p.m. Also, of course, the Grind City app. Be sure to check that out in your app store. Thank you for everyone tuning in. I am BLK Pepper Pot.
I'm Maseratii.
I'm DJ PharOut.
Bye.